And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Stepmom.
I think that Cheryl did her absolute best as a young woman, being, coming into kind of 3 kids that weren't her own and trying to host us and trying to really help out in whatever way she could. But I will say that we've certainly butted heads. And we have throughout the years, because I'm a very opinionated woman and she is too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I know
she
that
really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how did things change when Cheryl had kids of her own with Jake?
I think they changed in the way of she was more focused on her family and including us, when she could. But they had 4 kids very quickly. I mean, very quickly. And so, I know that, I had only met my 2 older siblings, and so you just never know how things play out when you're that age, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But Cheryl and I definitely have gone, like I said, I'm opinionated. I like to have my own voice. And whenever things became awry, I would say something. And that's not normally my style, but it certainly was because I was helping take care of my brothers as well.
Sure. Yeah. As a big sister, sure. I have my sister's 6 years younger than I am. So I know what it's like to have to take care and take a hold.
Right.
So, you had mentioned that you had like body issues or whatever. You're a skinny mini now, but growing up, we all go through that awkward stage. And like Cheryl taking you shopping.
Yeah. Cheryl's always been gorgeous. Let's be honest. She's always been gorgeous.
Cute, yeah.
And when I met her, like curly hair,
the best hair ever.
Right. And so she took me to her hairstylist and he was like, "You realize you have curly hair too, right?" And I'm like, "What?"
Right.
Like I had no idea. And so that's
what you could do.
Yeah, I figured that part out. But shopping with Cheryl was hell.
Yeah.
Because she was a small person. She was very fit. She was very well put together. She was a small size. The women in my family are so for me, I weighed over 350 pounds at one point. So I have not always been a small person. But
see, and I can't even see it. Because you're so put together. And not that there's anything wrong with being heavy. There's nothing wrong with being heavy. But you're in the public eye, essentially. Right. And just for yourself, and Cheryl is your stepmom and Jake's your dad. So I can see how you would want to be,
Well, and also being told like that doesn't look good on you. You're never going to fit into that. That's
Who
not
said that?
you. Cheryl would say that for sure. She would, when she would take me shopping, she'd be like, "That's not going to fit you. That's not going to look good on you." And I'm like, "Can I not just try it on? Like,
right?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Like, I can just try it on, right?" And but I didn't have a real voice then. So it was hard to have those conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I mean, and your dad's on TV and Cheryl's on TV. So, I mean, I would think you would know how to approach. Like, did you look at her like she was, well, not really even her, because what did she smacked Rick Rude in the face. It's iconic. Like, I'm jealous. I gotta say, I'm jealous of that. But, did you look at her like she was like this
An
thing,
icon like Jake was? Yes.
And
Yeah.
and you're out with her and she's saying, maybe not that outfit.
I mean, if you think about it, like, so my family where we lived as kids, so the house was very well kept, all the things, right? Flowers, gorgeous. But when I went to Dad's, Cheryl had a lingerie room.
She had what she
You
had?
heard me. A lingerie room.
Did you ever try to raid like her? Did you ever, like, I'd be in there trying everything on, but
I couldn't have worn anything that she wore.
a bra,
Age, but literally, it looked like I'd never seen. She had this room called a dressing room off of their main bedroom, right?
Yeah.
All glass, and it had a partition, but on the wall were panties hung up by and the bras hung, if you're at Victoria's Secrets. Yeah. And I was like, can't do that. Like, it was so bizarre to me. I was like, this is a different world.
Right?
It's just a different world. So,
and sex appeal. I mean, sex sells at the end of the day. Sex sells,
Oh, of course.
And Jake is sexy. Like, did you ever look at Jake and you're like, women dig my dad? Like,
oh, for sure. I mean, Tom Selleck, kind of look.
Tom Selleck, Jake the Snake, yeah. But were women, like, if you were out with him, if you were out with Jake, would women come up and like throw themselves at him?
Yes, that was my biggest complaint. Was anytime we went to dinner, like, I just couldn't even, like, wait, your kids are in town maybe maybe 3 times a year, and we're at dinner at a steakhouse that's supposed to be exclusive and all the things, and literally the waitress has told everybody, and then there's a barrage, and then I'm the upset, like, 14-year-old girl going, back the hell off,
right? I'm trying to have dinner with my daddy.
Like, all I want.
Which, speaking, what did you call Jake? Was he dad, daddy, dada, Jake, snake? What was?
Right. It's so weird. It's kind of transitioned, I guess. So he was dad maybe early on, but he's always been Jake. Cheryl's always called him Jake. Nobody has ever called the man by his first name ever.
Which is good, because I hate when people do that stuff. Like, people will be like, hey, how's Ed? I'm like, Ed who?
Right. And my dad's name is really bizarre. So
but it's a respect thing.
It is. I agree. But I would just be like, no, I mean, if they say, like, in my phone right now, it says Jake the Snake when he calls me, because I do business and I want people to know that's who's calling and not my dad, if that makes sense.
When Brutus calls me, it says Brutus Beefcake. Like,
I love it.
He is. He's Brutus Beefcake.